We'll have the second selection as they're on the right side. Hades, the first ban. We've seen more Hades bans than actually Hades been played. Why do we see him banned so much?
Hades, after his buff, he just has so much lifesteal potential. It's the sustain is nuts. His damage is pretty on point, and combining it with the right composition, he can be pretty potent to deal with.
Yeah, that level 1 is really problematic for Hades in the middle lane. He's able to go ahead and fight the opposition and then try and blow them up while healing himself. Even with the change to the heal going in the other direction, going down, he still winds up being very powerful. So he's not necessarily top ban. That's Bologna, who's banned out as well. Camazotz and Osiris also taken off the board. Zots have seen a lot of play. At first it was just Homie, and then it was other people. Long-range assassin, kind of scary.
Itemization has really caused this surgence of Camazott's gameplay. You have Shifter Shield, which is an excellent item on Camazotz now. Plus, Runeforge isn't half bad on him either. So it's just items being such a high demand that Camazotz is pretty viable with them.
So Monkey Madness, their mid laner Andinster, right? We've talked about his god pool, or lack thereof, a decent amount. Ra has been one of the gods that Andy has come out and really swung hard with. Eager's going to take him away in the first position. Of course, the best doesn't have a bad Ra himself either, so it's kind of a double win for Team Eager here as they select Terra and Thor next to the Ra.
Terra and Ra, it's already fairly heavy as far as sustain is concerned for the overall composition for Eager, and they're kind of just trying to face that against damage. So the question will be, in my opinion at least, whether or not Monkey Madness are going to be able to burst out Eager.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, the Isis. All right. Okay. I think we're going to see Anister play the Scylla today. The Cupid ban going to be the last one. In the second round of bans, Team Eager focusing Andy. Monkey Madness focusing Zapman. I like the fact that Team Eager did pick up the Thor. When you're jungling, when you're learning to jungle, Thor is baby's first jungler. Almost every jungler has a quality Thor. So here, you're able to pick it up for Sam for soccer. He does a little bit of everything. He's a very well-rounded character. So I think it's a really strong pick
and
for Sam.
There's the Scylla pick you were just talking about for Andinster. It's certainly a guy that he tends to favor and feels pretty comfortable on. He's made some pretty insane plays with Scylla as well, and combining that with the rest of the draft from Monkey Madness, he's got a ton of setup potential between his teammates.
Yeah, I almost expected to see a Khepri come out with the Scylla because you're asking to get blown up, but instead we'll see Nike. She'll make her way over there in the solo lane, defaulting the support to play the Terra. And as we said, Sam for Soccer, the newest addition to Team Eager, will play on Thor. Let's get right to it. Game number 1, Team Eager versus Monkey Madness, a team formerly known as SOAR, right about now. Hey, like that one. So it worked out. At least the timing did. Will the Sam for Soccer work out? That's the biggest question here. Talk to us a little bit about what you know about Sam for Soccer.
Sam for Soccer is somebody who's kind of just been running the rank scene for a while now. He was a pretty versatile player, though. He was able to play not only solo, but also a ton of jungle, and I guess jungle is just what he decided to go with, since that's what he felt more comfortable with in the AVGL and everything. And I think that all around, Sam has just done an excellent job as showing himself as a potential candidate for competitive, but it's just whether or not he's able to mold himself within such a short time period for this level of gameplay.
So what kind of play style? Is he aggressive? Is he more of a defensive character? I mean, we've seen him kind of carry games in the AVGL, but is that what we should expect?
When you're picking something like Thor, that screams aggression to me, at least. I don't think that junglers pick Thor to play the defensive or primarily the setup factor. Sure, Thor has a ton of setup, but that's a god you want to be constantly looking to poke with.
Yeah, he's a character that really wants to set the pace of the game, so you want to look for that. At the same time, you know, I think the reason we see Thor here come out in his SPL debut is it's just safe. If you get behind on Thor, you can still do it. It's not, I don't know, just reaching for an example, Hebo jungle. It's just safe, you can depend on it. Even if things go awry, you're still going to be able to land on people, hit a wall, and run away.
But it could work against you as well, because if you're not landing on people or landing your hammer stuns, you're just going to get roasted by Twitch chat the entire time.
Exactly. Yeah, what are you doing? Shouts to Weekend, who no matter what he does will get roasted by Twitch chat. Man had 20 kills, 35 assists, and 0 deaths, and they would say, well, try it again against a harder team. Shouts to Weak Nation having to deal with that. The Oracles go the way of Monkey Madness on the left side of the map. Relatively not too many invades, however, which is something that we usually see. Teams playing it very safe.
You typically anticipate an invade, especially considering that M&M probably have the stronger early game, but I think that Eager have done an excellent job with ensuring that they have their members spread enough to where they could rotate just in case an invade was to come through.
So over here, Andy on the Scylla. Like I said, the characters that we've seen Andy play have been the Ra primarily, and then the Scylla follow-up. We saw the Agni banned out, which is what he played yesterday, or rather Thursday, and looked phenomenal. One of the best Agnis I've seen in a long time. And then the Isis was banned out by Team Eager. Your personal opinion, is Andy's Isis better than his Scylla?
Probably not better than his Scylla, but the way that his team could utilize it could be very strong. And best, I think Elmafe might have been potentially just looking for an early beads pull there.
I like that you, watch out, fine, okay, tanking the wave here. That's so is Divios. I like how you answered that question, because, yeah, I think Andy individually is better at the Scylla than the Isis, but the implications of the composition with the Isis is very big. All of a sudden, you've got Jigs on the Fafnir, and he's going to be able to just amplify that ability to crush objectives. Isis will fit hand in hand with that. By taking Anster on the Scylla, sure, you get a lot of confirm, but you don't have that oh, it's mine with the circle of protection.
It's much better at zoning as well on top of objectives. And just in case Monkey Madness want to look for an early Portal Demon or an early Gold Fury, they would definitely have the possibility to do so with an Isis. Scylla, not so much.
At the same time, though, you gotta remember that Andy has made many people his monster, so gotta watch out for that one. The individual play of Scylla is absolutely a thing to be reckoned with. You gotta be careful late game when this character just starts running team fights by herself. Nice little knock-up from Divios on the final K. One of the few players that actually likes Nike.
Divios has been lamenting about this Nike since she came out. He just absolutely loves this god, and it's very evident as well. He looks to try and just pick these utility-heavy warriors or guardians in that solo lane because he doesn't necessarily care too much about winning the matchup. Very similar to Demi, where he'll take a losing matchup if it means a better team fight.
And it's interesting because Nike was the hotness when she came out. Everybody played Nike. And then people kind of said, I wish she did more. She just kind of doesn't do a lot. And they left. But Divios never left. And if you ask Divios why he likes Nike, he giggles, which he does with everything he says. But he giggles and he'll just say, she doesn't die. She just never dies. That shield is so incredible for just allowing her to stay alive throughout anything.
I think that an HP shield is always pretty effective, and especially against a Raven, where we've been talking about Nike not necessarily being the winning matchup, but Raven and solo lane, it's kind of been happening again. Hold that thought, though. They're already looking for this Gold Fury. The girdle's been popped, and this is 100% Monkey Madness's.
Isis or no Isis, MM had a plan to go for the early game objectives, and they get it. Girdle, Scylla, it's gone. No kills, but the objective, the Gold Fury, goes the way of M&M. And that means they're going to be up 1,100 gold because of it. Well done by the blue team.
Caught Eager sleeping just a little bit there, and well played to M&M because early Gold Furies are perfect, especially when you get away with them so cleanly, because the only thing that's left on the table is going to be elementals at this stage. Like, there's nothing else on the map other than lane farm.
Yeah, Portal Demon doesn't spawn until 10 minutes, and usually when you see teams lose the Gold Fury, they get a mid tower or they go ahead and get Portal Demon. Well, Portal Demon is literally not available, and mid tower, I mean, you don't have the numbers to go ahead and crush that tower in a single wave as the response. So MM make a really good play. Now the Gold Fury is worth less early on, but it's still baby steps, right? You got to take you got to crawl before you walk.
And sometimes all you need to do is just chip away slowly at an opponent and apply that slow bleed. It's pretty effective.
I mean, we saw it earlier on, and which is kind of interesting. Some games of SMITE are won in a single team fight. Shouts to that E-United game. Now, they were down a zillion, but had they won that fight, they win the game, right? But other games slowly just get choked out like a boa constrictor.
I think it should be actually addressed more often, where teams should look for the aggressive play rather than permitting a bunch of fire waves to push into their base. A lot of times the player base might not necessarily recognize that as a good decision. They're like, all these guys are mad dumb. Like, what the hell are they doing pushing this far up the mid lane? And it's just like, bro, they sit at their Titan, and all that's going to happen is the Fireways are going to siege anyway.
Yeah, I was actually talking to PBM on Twitter about this, and, you know, at the end of the day, when you get into a fight with a dude 2 feet taller than you, you're going to lose anyway. You might as well go for the punch. So that's my mentality, because at the odd chance you hit him in the right spot, well, you get the Titan. So
Sucker punches work. Sam for Soccer trying to get one of his own with the Homifay.
That's the second time you missed that one. Might be just nerves. And at the end of the day, I don't really care if you're missing the poke. When you come down to the team fight, you got to hit your combos, and that's what Sam for Soccer is going to look for right now. Looked at Homifay, changed his mind to Andy. Nice speeds, comes out. Wonderful reaction from the mid laner. The wall's going to hit, but Andy's going to miss his own. Jumping forward is going to be the solo lane. Fine, okay. Just finds the ultimate, but now he's in trouble. Zapman making the rotation out of the long lane, looking for the ult. One shot, can't find the second, but the slowdown makes it happen for Zapman. Beautiful team play by Team Eager. Gets first blood for the red team.
Absolutely beautiful disengage by Divios, taking out the tower and dealing enough damage to allow Zapman to pick up that kill. And then Jig stunned out, but hold up. Homifay in the backline completely destroying everybody.
This is a multi-kill, double kill for Homie F.A. Make that trips. And he gets one for his Hunter as well. Out of control, Homie F.A. with the flank takes the team fight to a place Eager did not want to go.
That 100% looked like it was going to be in Eager's favor. I mean, Aurora even had the perfect Terra clap just to stop Jigs from chasing in on that Fafnir ultimate. And then Homie's just like, nah, this is not happening. That was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that was, you know, Team Eager had a party. And then Homie F.A. played janitor and cleaned up everything up. Just tough stuff for Eager. Big swing in the gold as well. MM were leading by about 1,000 before. Now triple that. Triple kill for the jungler. Triple their original lead. 3K right now at 8 minutes. Not a good look.
Homifay didn't even just get 3 kills out of that last engagement. He's like 3 levels up on Sam for Soccer now. And first game in the SPL, that's pretty terrifying knowing that it's a Susano. And it's Homifay Susano, by the way. At
the same time, for Sam for Soccer, I think a lot of nerves come from individual performance, right? When you're playing something like this, you need to slay it. Sam for Soccer goes up, and he's not in range of the solo laner. He doesn't slay it. But when you're thinking about getting nervous before a performance like this, you're thinking more, I hope I don't look like a fool, unless I hope we don't lose. As you get more comfortable, that switches spots. But so, I mean, for Homie F.A. to be up 3 levels, yeah, it's not good for Sam, but it's not his bad. So mentally, might be a little bit better.
And they're getting a little bit lucky with that one. Best was just a tad bit slow on the follow-up there, but Andy's getting away with his life because of it. I think that if that slamping landed, whether or not it killed him, it certainly would have encouraged a chase.
Yeah, and his beads are, yeah, they were still on cooldown. Just now coming up in about a couple of seconds. Because Andy, I mean, the first time he beads was perfect. Otherwise, he was just dead, and that allowed Andy to bring players low enough to allow Homie F.A. to come and finish the deal. So, you know, all these things, ripple effects, right?
It takes place, and it certainly makes an impact on the overall game. And the pacing right now, I would say, is being dictated pretty heavily by M&M.
Right, and you know, like I said earlier, that Sam for Soccer on the Thor is a character that's really going to be dictating the pace of the game. Theoretically, that's what happens. Thor comes, he ults a lane, he gets a gank, win or lose, he goes someplace else. Ultimate comes back up, he just does it again and again and again, and the enemy sort of has to follow and counter gank where the Thor goes. Well, if you get behind, one, the Susano is certainly a mobile character that can do that himself, just like a Wheelish, but also MM as a team are really keeping the pressure up by just hitting the objectives, whether it's Gold Fury or otherwise.
They're not giving Sam any opportunities, or at least trying to prevent any opportunities for him catching back up, completely stripping the jungle of all of its farm. Homifay picking up his 2nd speed buff now. It might as well be his 2nd speed buff now.
Yeah, the speed buff, the red buff on the left side of the map also going down the way of MM. Here on the right-hand side, Divios is in trouble. Has to pop his own ultimate, and he'll be safe for the moment. And I stress, for the moment. That blue buff on the side of Divios's, I think it's going to be invaded here as well.
Not very safe at all. And it looks like Vedium could be in a little bit of danger, having to force his beat. So well played to Divios to try and get that engage going, but unfortunately just coming up a little bit short, and it looks as though Eager want to stress this Gold Fury fight.
Well, yeah, Divios travels to the left side knowing that his blue buff is going to be gone. Pressures the Hunter. Now he knows that the Hunter's at a lane, so Eager want to go for the Gold Fury, but the window is open just a crack. Not enough for Eager to go ahead and put themselves inside of it, and now the team fight is going to be started. Final K making the flank on the left side, traveling from the solo lane himself, so it's a 5-on-5. Team Eager here, he's still local, but MM are the ones that are going to pick up the gold.
M&M already have 5 ults, but Eager have expended 3 of theirs, and I don't know, Zatman doesn't have very much mana left in the tank. I'm not sure that Eager want to try and fight into this.
Divios is going to get chunked by Andinster, and Final K puts him in the ground. That was just Divios being a little bit too far up.
Goodbye,
Divios
Zatman.
is down, no one to protect Zatman. These kills at 12 minutes aren't supposed to be run-of-the-mill, okay, here he's dead, right? There needs to be some sort of back and forth. Is this already out of hand?
This is getting very quickly out of hand, and I don't want to state that the game is already completed, because you never really know what can happen. There could be some kind of crazy team fight where Best just finds a quadra snipe on the Raw.
I was going to say, call me old school, but frankly, I can never count out Best and Zatman. These guys might not be, Zatman specifically, they're not their original forms, but these guys still have that catalyst capability that, yeah, one team fight happens, Best hits 2 players with an ult, Zatman roms them down. That can happen with Eager. That's why they've stayed competitive for a long time.
I will say this much, though. If this was just a rank game and not a competitive match that I happen to be spectating, I would be anticipating the F6 to be coming through shortly.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't want to say that Eager are going to throw in the towel by any means. I'm certain that they're going to want to try and fight back into this. It's just the likelihood of M&M being the team that they are, throwing a lead that they've already established. It's pretty unlikely with their draft.
Yeah, it's gonna be a force by Team Eager. Nice shot coming out of Best to hit Andy freehand through a wall. That's what we're talking about.
He's still alive. He's still there.
Yeah.
Best is still trying to make something happen. It's just 2 players versus 5. How difficult is it going to be when you're looking at it from the carry aspect? Because Divios and Aurora can only frontline so much. When you fall behind and you're supposed to be the tanky Guardians and the tanky frontliners, but you're not. There's only so much you can do. Yeah,
it's pretty rough for Big D and the kids table here. Trouble for the jungler, however. Sam for soccer. And this is, I feel like, worse than having a bad game. He has been invisible. I feel like if you go 0-5 because you're trying to make things happen, oh well. But if you just don't do anything, for me personally, Taco, that's worse.
It's been kind of brutal, though, for Sam as far as determining the real downhill factor here for him.
Sure.
Because he's been trying to make things happen. He's been ulting. It's just nobody's been around him. And whether that's partially due to a lack of ward vision or just M&M not being where he expects them to be, it's just been unfortunate, really, for Sam for soccer, because he's looking for that something. He just can't really find it. Exactly.
And, you know, one game is a very small sample size. Rather, 15 minutes is a very small sample size. So I want to see more from Sam. I'm not going to write him off just yet, obviously, but things not looking good with Team Eager's new jungler, as we're only 15 minutes in, and they sit down about 7,000 gold, 7 kills in total, and they only own 1. Fantastic performance, just great. I mean, Homie FA started the game off with 4 kills or 3 kills and an assist in the mid lane after a Team Eager first blood, and it all went downhill from there.
Home FA just getting that 3-level lead on the jungle, it just made things so rough for Eager. It's not even just Sam for soccer at that point. It's the entire team, because your whole jungle's getting invaded. That means Zatman's not getting that red farm. That means that Divios isn't accepting any sort of solo lane farm from the blue buff or the jungle buff. Or it's difficult, man. You just really don't have a lot of breathing room. Really.
Everyone's down about 3 levels on the side of Team Eager. And when you tell me that the hunters and the supports are separated by only 1, you can take those levels away from the difference between Homie Efe and Sam, and it's all even. Homie Efe and Sam separated by 5 levels. Ouch! Just 5 levels. That's so not good. That is my official analysis. Being down 5 levels is so not good.
Homie Efe could literally 1v1 anybody on Eager and possibly even 2v1. Might be seeing that pretty soon here, but a nice ultimate by Sanford Soccer is going to force Homie Efe out, and actually both of his actives having to be expended as Eager was looking for the pickup kill there.
I liked the try, and again, just outplayed by MM. That's a play earlier when we saw the Thor go for Andenster and Andy reactionary beads. You can't hate the Thor for that play, so I do like it, but unfortunately, nothing really comes of it. You chase out Homie Efe, what can Eager do with that? Well, they can secure their own buffs. Well, that's one step in the right direction, absolutely.
And I'm sure that Sanford Soccer is pretty delighted that his team was able to defend that speed buff. It's like one of the worst things in the world as a jungler where your team's already massively behind, and just that constant little jab at, hey, your speed buff's still ours. Yeah, it never feels good. At the same time, though, egregious mistake in my opinion. We just don't see much vision at all. This whole week, well, the entire, 2 days, Thursday and Saturday, we were talking, and the observer was showing how many wards there were. There were so many wards. Map lit up like a Christmas tree, and yet this map not celebrating the holidays. Neither team really investing in the wards. Well, for M&M, they don't necessarily need to worry so much about ward vision considering how far ahead they are. They don't really expect Eager to try and look for any sort of early objective contest because they're constantly hovering around that area. I'd rather see Eager show up with some vision. Eager can't afford it, though. I understand that, but at some point, I mean, you got to spend money on the ladder to get yourself out of the hole. That Gold Fury is going to go to MM, and Sanford Soccer looking to put somebody else in the hole this time. Lands on Jigs. He knows that guy doesn't have beads, but it's the support. Not a lot of damage can be dished into him. Jigs, he's got the boots, not tanky, but he's got Thieves and he's got Sav. It's already too much for Eager to really deal with. And the objective and the team fight go the way of, well, no really team fight goes the way of MM, but they get gold, and they're up 9K. M&M trying to hold on to their T1 tower, but it doesn't seem as though Eager has any more push potential in that mid lane. Even though M&M were pretty poked out after that Gold Fury fight, Vedium had a back to base even. Yeah. But, so I think Portal Demon's the shot call here for Eager, but Secure is going to be pretty tough. Yeah, they need to find a pick, which, I mean, with the long-range raw damage, some double taps damage, you can find a pick. This is a comp that can get a pick, but MM do the right thing and they force the team fight. Best on the backside, taken out by Homie Efe. Final K gets credit for it. Meanwhile, Zapman's next on the menu. Can they catch up? Homie absolutely can, looking for the commit. Meanwhile, mid-tier 1 tower, Divios is in trouble. Final K and Andy on the chase. Jigs jumps and can't find the stun. Finds the stun after the fact. Jigs gets credit for the kill. 1-0 and 9 for the support. That's 100% kill participation for Mr. Jigs here. Tier 1 goes down, Tier 2 is next. Final K and Jigs are just entirely too tanky, and there's just nothing to be done about it. That last engagement was probably one of the best opportunities that Eager's had in a long time in this game, and it was just completely one-sided as soon as Final K ulted into the fight. The Best could not, there wasn't any peel for Best. As soon as Final K found himself on the back line, Best just kind of sat there with 10 HP saying, I'm gone. Sam was occupied elsewhere, couldn't find help for his mid laner, and with Best down, Zapman is the other main point of damage. Sam's obviously not bringing much damage at this point in the game, being so far behind. So it's up to the long-range characters of Best and Zapman, and they just weren't able to do it. Zapman doesn't have any room whatsoever to try and just land any sort of autos, because the second that he goes into those boxing trades, Vedium's got so much more itemization. He already has the crit online for himself. He's building into what I believe will be a Blood Forge, considering that it's kind of late in the game to look for that Devos. And so Zatman having the Iqbal Executioner chins, he's got the damage, but no room to use it.
Yeah, I like that he went the chin side here. I think that watching what Zatman does normally, I think that he wouldn't shy away from the crit here. He does like the crit build, but understanding he has to come online sooner rather than later. The best, well, he goes offline right about there. Andy gets the last credit with the hit of the root there. Although I think we saw Andy waste his ult. Nobody's going to say much about that one when you're 1-0-8. Forget about the 1-0-8. He's number 2 on the player damage. I think that's a more impressive one.
That's just rough. All around for Eager. Best is just getting absolutely deleted anytime he comes close. And this is kind of just the risk versus reward aspect for Team Eager. They went for this early sustained healer composition, picking the Raw and Terra right off the bat. But unfortunately, it's just not playing out for them, because when you fall behind with the healing composition, it becomes incredibly difficult for you to fight back in, because healers don't necessarily have a massive power spike early on. Raw's probably one of the better ones for dealing with things, considering that he's got his one ultimate combination off of setup, but because Sanford Soccer was never able to find that complete lockdown possibility due to either purification beats being up for Andy or just the outright players not being there, it's just all around just a trickling effect. It's nothing they can do.
Well, you can change the jungler, but it looks like the mentality of Eager staying the same. Split push Thor. There he's going. Gets the tier 1 tower. I say it kind of in jest, but at the end of the day, level 13 Thor, what is he going to do? Might as well, 1, get the farm from the lane. 2,
he can't even back.
Exactly. Oh,
he can't even back.
Oh, no. Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's good.
Is he though?
Yeah, he's fine.
I'm just waiting. There's a random ward behind their Phoenix. You know, he's just going to TP into it.
Just tell me FA comes through. I should know.
With the Susana, you never know, though.
Exactly.
Like, you joke about it, but, like, Susana can actually get up and down a lane so fast. It's kind of, it's nutty. And
that's Susana running around.
Zatman with that T1 push. Kind of risky business.
So Zatman, the difference between Rom and Thor, they both can go to the sky. Ooh, nice roll. But, yeah, Zatman doesn't have the luxury that Sanford Soccer did. He just dies. Oh, well.
There's nothing he can do. And unfortunately as well, Aurora popped his ultimate trying to see if he could give a little bit of movement speed to his Hunter to get him out of danger, but completely surrounded and in the wrong neighborhood. It's just going to be back to base for him.
23.5 minutes into our first game of 2. 12 kills to 1. MM find themselves up an exorbitant amount of gold. I kind of stopped counting after 10K, but they find themselves 14.6 above Team Eager. The new jungler for Team Eager, Sanford Soccer. Not his best performance here in his debut game. Just rough, as a dog would say.
Like I said, there's just not much that could be done really from any. There isn't going to be any sort of individual standout in a giraffe like this for Eager, and even more so when a giraffe that's meant to be team-oriented, based off of every single unit working together. It's just so. It's just devastating. There's nothing they can do about this.
Yeah, it's this one is MM's game to lose at the moment. They're going to pick up the Gold Fury, head back to base, likely watch them march up the left-hand side and take out the left Phoenix. Just Smite basics. The Phoenix furthest away from the Fire Giant is the most lucrative one. But Portal Demon is going to be spawning here in just a little bit, so we're going to see MM opt for that objective instead. How safe is too safe?
Too safe? There's really no such thing as too safe for M&M in this scenario. There's not really much of a threat of them throwing here. If anything, this is them kind of just biting things out. I'd say more of like a mental wear down, probably onto Sanford Soccer, because the rest of that Eager roster is pretty acclimated to a competitive environment. They know what it's like to be spam taunted nonstop. They can deal with the mental block of things, but how well can a rookie deal with this kind of torment and this? Because you know that you're just going to be getting roasted in Twitch chat the entire time. There's nothing you can do about it. So it just comes down to endurance here, really, and how well Zatman is going to be able to reel his team back in. Because if I'm Eager, I'm not worrying about this game. I mean, obviously you're worried, but like, you're already talking about the next one. That's what every competitive team will typically do in this kind of situation, is talk about what can we do better for next game.
That's a really good point here. I mean, 25 minutes is kind of the theoretical average average length of time for a SMITE game, and as you get further beyond that, it just becomes more taxing on you. Decent stop by Team Eager, surprisingly. Big damage coming out of the Ra to really bring Jigs down, along with Final K relatively low, and that allows Eager to defend their Phoenix against all odds.
Fire Giant buff had worn off for Eminem, however, so...
Look at this, though.
Kind of dangerous.
Set up an ambush here. Hammer gets thrown, the best in trouble. No movement ability for Ra. He's gonna get jumped on. Andy over the wall finds the ultimate. Fantastic play. Not once, but twice. Homie snatches the kill away, so he can't get the reset. But the damage has been dealt. Scylla up on top. 10.5 thousand damage in just 26 minutes of play. Homie chases Eager into the fountain, getting the kill there. 2 Phoenixes alive. Make that 1. And now MM, next on their list, is going to be the Titan. Nice and easy. The Titan will go down. Majority of this game led by MM. Team Eager and their new jungler come up short.
They'd had